So, let me quickly introduce myself. So, my name is Avinash, and I have 9 years of experience, and I'm working as a lead consultant on cloud infra management. And I have a couple of certifications. And if you want to get in touch with me, here is my LinkedIn profile. So, uh, right. So, here in today's session, we're going to start discussing about what is Amazon Web Services, what exactly its global infrastructure, and what is AWS free tier limitations that we will discuss today. And in our next session, that means tomorrow, we are going to discuss how to create our AWS account and what are the first steps we need to perform after creating our AWS account. Right. So we had a quick introduction to cloud computing that I hope everybody know what is cloud computing, right? So here, when coming to AWS, AWS is a cloud service provider. So basically, AWS is a cloud service provider. So cloud means we are going to get a number of the computing resources. So all the computing resources we are going to get from, like, the service provider, and he's going to take care about the all maintenances and all. So you can access those anywhere from the world. So AWS provides all computing services. So if you need a server to run an application, yes, go to AWS, create a server and run your application. And you're done with the requirement. So then delete that server. So you need a storage capacity like a 1 TB or 2 TB just for a couple of days. So go there, provision your capacity, use all the data, and once you're done with the requirement, delete all your data. So by end of the month, you're going to get charged for the resources you actually used. So Amazon always works on a mechanism called pay as you go. So pay as you go mechanism means pay for the resources you actually use. Pay for the resources you actually use. So if you're not using the resources, you really no need to pay for that. So when coming to this, you might get a doubt, why only AWS? See, we have many cloud service providers. We have Azure, we have GCP. So you might get a doubt, why only AWS? So first thing, they are first in the market. Second thing, they have major market share. Third thing, whatever the services AWS is providing, of course, another service providers also providing the same. But the technology evaluating with the market, if you are taking, like, services offered by AWS, like, how advanced service we have blockchain, we have IoT, we have robotic, we have ground station. That means you can send your own satellite to the space, and you can monitor that space, and you can program that the space satellite by using AWS, by using a service called AWS ground station. So AWS is evaluating with the market, first thing, and they have major market share. See, if you observe, to make a payment, we have Google Pay, we have Phone Pay, we have Paytm, we have MobiQuick, and we have many. So among all this, why only this Paytm is very famous? First thing, they are first in the market, they are evaluating in the market, they have major market share. When you go to any shop, like, they are offering Paytm, so obviously you'll prefer to go with that over, like, MobiQuick or Phone Pay and all, right? So but end of the day, they are also providing same services. AWS also, when coming to Azure, also giving same services. I have a small comparison chart. So this is a cloud comparison chart, guys. Whatever the service we have in on-premise, see, AWS is not a new technology. The process we are following from ages got automated by AWS. See, Earlier, if you withdraw money from your bank account, what is the process? You need to grab your passbook, you need to go to the particular bank, you need to fill up some voucher, you need to stand in that queue. Then, you need to submit and he will ask us to wait for some time. So then he's going to hand over that money, right? But now, if you want to withdraw money from your bank account, you are rushing to nearby ATM by entering valid PIN number, you are getting, right? So, in both the ways, you are getting amount from your bank account only. And for example, you have only 5,000 rupees in your bank account, you are trying to withdraw 10,000 rupees. Is it possible in, the traditional mechanism and the automated mechanism ATM? In both ways, it is not going to happen. So similarly, whatever the service we have from ages, that process got automated. Earlier, if you want to, you need a server, so you need to purchase a physical server. For example, Dell R430. This is one of the server. So what you need to do? You need to purchase such type of server, and where you are going to place this server. You need a server rack. 32U is nothing but So here, this is one of the server rack. You need to have such type of server rack, and you need to have network rack where you are going to place, and you need switches, you need routers, and this infra is going to generate a lot of heat, so you need to purchase proper cooling systems. So these all things, and physical security, you need to take care about all these things. Okay, so but if I need a server, if I depending on Amazon Web Services, how quickly we can get it? Within minutes we can get a server, we can deliver whatever we want. So the process is automated. See, you have deployed an application, the count is very huge, so one server is not sufficient to deliver that entire load. So in that case, what you're going to do, you can place load balancer. So you can place load balancer. So within this load balancer, see how this load balancer is going to work. Whatever the traffic coming from different customers over the internet. So here either we have a software load balancer or hardware load balancer. It will distribute to all the end servers, application servers. So here we have two options, software load balancer or hardware load balancer. Earlier, we used hardware load balancer. For example, Cisco load balancer. See, these are the devices. This is one device. This is one, Cisco Appliance Control Engine 4710. This is one device. So what is the job of this device? And AWS ELB. See, what is the job of this? What are the traffic coming? It is taking the load and it is distributing to multiple servers. So in both the ways, whatever the physical device is doing, the same thing is now that you know AWS appliance also doing, but it is a virtual one. So earlier to configure the devices, to manage that infrastructure, we required a dedicated team. To manage the storage itself, we require a dedicated team. For example, storage admin jobs. There is a dedicated job. See, storage admin, EMC SAN storage, NetApp storage. NetApp is a widely used one, right? 67 more jobs. So, to manage storage, only storage devices, right? We need a dedicated team. But now, whenever they are using a dedicated hardware device, we require this. We require this team. But when coming to AWS or any other cloud service provider, we really don't require it. See, block-based storage, there is a service, and file-based storage, there is a service, and archive storage. So these four, this one, two, three, four, with these three, four, we are taking that storage admin's job. Okay, for security, we require a dedicated guy. But here, security is part of this. At DR solutions, we can recover, see, database options. So when coming to cloud, we really don't require a dedicated database administrator. Whatever the guy configuring all the remaining things like servers and all, servers, load balancers and all, the same guy he can configure. Why? Because the process is automated with a single clicks. Okay, you are looking for high availability, enable this option. Go to actions, enable this option, and high availability you got for your application. You're looking for disaster recovery solution. Okay, go to settings of that. Okay, enable particular option. Automatically, we are going to get a disaster recovery option. Right. So, in this scenario, do we really require a dedicated database administrator? No. To create a network, how many network admins jobs you know, right? Many. But here, this networking part. So, if you observe in AWS also we call it as a VPC. In Azure also we call it as a virtual network and subnets. In GCP also we call it as a VPC. So, the service end of the day it's going to be same, but the features or supported protocols is be different. And content delivery network, you have some data in a centralized location, you want to deliver it to all the different locations. In AWS we call it as a cloud front. In Azure we call it as a content delivery network. That's what CDN stands for. And in GCP we call it as a cloud interconnect. See, is this a new technology? No. Earlier also, we have some companies like Cloudflare, Akamai. What exactly this Akamai will do? Akamai is a CDN service provider. Cloudflare. Cloudflare is also a CDN service provider. See, content delivery services. So the same thing they have automated. If you ask me which one you are going to choose among this, so obviously it depends on company and all. And end of the day, if you learn Amazon Web Services, it is not going to be a big thing to learn or understand what is Azure or what is GCP. So end of the day, we are going to look for the market and we need to grab a job. So obviously, as major market share is with Amazon Web Services, I'll definitely mention that you go with the AWS. Right. So that is why only AWS. That is like, when coming to service, you see, one simple example, guys. See, you want to watch a movie for a weekend, you want to watch a movie. So you have, Central Mall, you have Forum Mall, you have like, any other mall, AMB Mall, right? We have 4 to 5 malls. End of the day, you are going to watch the movie, you are going to do a shopping, but why you prefer to go to AMB overall? Right.
because it
Advanced
has all the
option,
services
more and
together.
more. Yeah. So that's a very simple logic here. So all our cloud service providers, even you can build your own by end of the day. So you are going to deliver. First thing. So you might get a question why you are saying AWS is a top in global market and all. So the revenue speaks that, and I have a comparison chart for that. So here, um, if you take this chart, this is from like Gartner Magic Report. Basically, they do survey on all the segments. They do surveys in all the segment. So they have, here is a report, but we need to sign up to get this report. And I think this link has experienced. Yeah, this link got broken. So, but if you're taking this, so AWS named as a global leader for 10th consecutive year. From last 10 years onwards, AWS declared as a global leader for infrastructure as a service provider segment. So this is a chart. So Amazon Web Services, Microsoft is followed by, and Google is here. That's the first thing. And AWS is actually not introduced in last 5 years and all. AWS established in 2003. In 2004, two guys, Chris Pinkman and Benjamin Black, they proposed some white papers where we can sell the services. So then in 2006 March, AWS is officially launched. In 2003 itself, so they designed documentation like so they implemented a service called SQS. The service name is SQS, simple queuing service. So then they got a doubt, okay, why we only consuming the service? Why can't we sell this service to another companies, and why can't we make some money out of the service offering? See, the same mechanism. See, earlier you need 2 BHK. Okay, you are going to build a house 2 BHK only. But now what we are doing? The requirement is 2 BHK. Okay, along with that, you are going to take 3 floors or 4 floors, and you will give it on rented basis. You are going to take one, remaining all resources you are giving on a rented basis. Why? Because the requirement is increasing. So in simple manner, so then they got a doubt. Why we are only consuming the service? Why can't we sell this service, and why can't we make some money out of that offerings? So then they designed some white papers. In 2004, SQS got launched. In 2004, SQS got launched. Right. In 2006 March, AWS officially launched. AWS officially launched in 2006. So from that time onwards, like in 2010, 1,80,000 developers they recruited by AWS, and Amazon.com is entirely moved to AWS, and they got a problem in EBS, block storage, elastic block storage, and from 2012 onwards, they have started an all annual conference. So the annual conference name is Reinvent Annual Conference. So if you are going to write cloud practitioner exam, this is one of the question I face that. So annual conference name is 2000, reinvent session. So basically from November last week to December first week, or December first week, in November or December first week, November last week or December first week, it's going to happen. And just because of this, COVID, so this time it went as a virtual conference. It's 2 week long. AWS reinvent. So they are going to introduce lot of new services actually. So November 29th to December 3rd. So this year 2021 dates also announced, November last week to December. So but last year one, no, so it got and basically AWS CEO Andy Jassy is going to give keynotes, and I hope you might hear this. Andy Jassy basically is the CEO of AWS. Now he becomes CEO of Amazon also. Jeff Bezos got retired and he's going to take care about one space and all. So but now who is the CEO of AWS? He becomes CEO of Amazon also. Additional duties for this guy. So Andy Jassy is the CEO of Amazon Web Services. He's going to give some keynotes and all, and most of the new services they introduce here in this conference. Okay, so later on, when coming to revenue point of view, also you can see that here. See, in 2015, their revenue is $6 billion. Within 1 year, it got more than double. And in similar manner, it is. Even if you go to AWS Wiki, so here you can observe. So their operating income and revenue 46 billions. And if you're taking GCP Wiki or Azure Wiki, no, not available. This one also not available. Right. So, but here if you observe over the year and year, so this is increasing a lot. Why? Because more customers are trusting and more. So AWS as a dominant 33% of all clouds, while the next components Microsoft and Google have 18 and 9 percentage respectively. When AWS have 33% percentage of the market share, this Microsoft have 18 percentage, and this Google have 9 percentage, right? So this is according to synergy, not according to Avinash as he is teaching AWS. Okay, and it is works as a pay as you go model. It works with the pay as you go mechanism. So these are like regular marketing kind of things. So to grab some attention and all. So, but I'll tell you one thing. You go to LinkedIn or you go to Naukri or Monster or Dice or Indeed, search for AWS jobs, search for GCP jobs or Microsoft jobs. Which one is giving how many results? Note down that, and then you decide to what cloud service provider you want to go with. And trust me, switching from one service provider to another service provider is not at all a big thing. Why? Because just because of my AWS knowledge, I so just because of my AWS knowledge, I did a certification. I think my account got signed out. Okay. I did a certificate with my AWS experience. I did a certification on you know Azure also. You can find that here. See, this is my Azure certification, and here we can see the credentials also, whether it is a valid or not. See, implementing Microsoft Azure infrastructure solutions. So this, what exactly it is going to test and all, and this badge has issued to Avinash in 2018. Okay, so you can even verify that, like valid, issued to when got last update. Similar manner. So MCP also I have, security specialist also I have. Like these are the certifications. Like forbidden, you do not have access. I think I need to log in. Then it will. So here is a certification number, credentials ID, and all that you can definitely find. Okay, so yeah, let's keep that things aside and let's come back to the technical thing. So now it's in your hand with which service provider you want to go with and all. When coming to AWS global infrastructure, so we are going to run our resources in cloud. Okay, fine, but where your resource is going to run? Okay, it's in cloud, but cloud means, so you know it should run somewhere else, right? So that somewhere else is nothing but AWS infrastructure. AWS have segregated entire world into different geographical locations. It's just a geographical location or physical location. So, for example, if you're taking India and Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, so these Asia Pacific countries. For these Asia Pacific countries, what Amazon did, they have given a region. That region is a Mumbai region. So in similar manner, if you're taking, Australia, we have Sydney region. If you're taking US, we have Northern Virginia region, and we have Canada Central region, Ohio region, Oregon region, right? So Frankfurt region when coming to Europe. So Amazon segregated entire world into different locations, and they have named it as a region with a famous city or financial capital. So if you are taking India and all, so Mumbai is a region. So region is nothing but a geolocation, geographical location or physical location where AWS segregated. So Mumbai is a region. For that region, they have given a code. That code is AP South 1. AP means Asia Pacific South hyphen 1. And if you're taking Singapore, AP Southeast 1. If you're taking Northern Virginia, US East 1, US West 1. So such type of codes we have for every region. And again, as I'm mentioning, this is just a physical location or geographical location. So total we have 24 regions. It's a total 24 regions we have. And again, where is our resource is going to run? We are mentioning, okay, region we don't have any resource and all, but where is our region, where is our resource is going to run? That resource is going to run in availability zones. We call it as a AZs. AZ is nothing but a availability zone. Okay, so within this availability zone, we are going to have all our computing resources or any other physical resources. So whatever the server you want to run, that will be within this availability zone. Whatever database you want to run, the required hardware is within this availability zone. So you need to connect to this availability zone, then you can launch the resources. Then you can launch all these resources, right? So availability zone is nothing but a data center or combination of multiple data centers also. So what is a data center? So if you don't know, take a minute. So Google have their data center video. So just go to YouTube, Google data center. We have a video. This is a Google data center video. So the multiple layers of security and all this is a big data center, like the so all our servers, appliances here, and who can access to the resource and all. A particular biometric authentication is enabled, only certain members can access. So whenever they have any hard disk that run out of lifetime, so they are going to take out that resource and they are going to physically destroy the devices, right? And to, like, it is going to generate a lot of speed, so to reduce a lot of heat, to reduce that lot of heat, like so we need proper cooling systems to maintain that cooling systems and all. So in similarly we have data centers by AWS and Microsoft. I hope you have seen this underwater data center Microsoft. So there is an underwater data center by Microsoft. So why? Just to reduce that the heat it generates if it is under sea. So the water itself is going to take that and all. See, this is an underwater data center, so they are operating, you know so such type of data centers we have here. So we have total 77 availability zones. So across the globe we have Amazon have 77 data centers, and every region will contains minimum of 2 availability zones. Every region contains minimum of 2 availability zones. Why 2 availability zones? To isolate the resource failures. So every availability zone is isolated or independent another AZ failure. So if one availability zone failure happened, so it is not going to affect any other availability zone operations and all. And some services, the data is going to spread across multiple availability zone. If one data center goes down also, your application is not going to get affected, right? So, and every AZ have multiple network connectivities. So the primary one is a LAN. So every availability zone have multiple network connectivity with another AZs, another availability zone. I have a diagram, I'll show you that. So here is a region one. So here is India. So we have two, one is Mumbai region and second region is a Hyderabad region. It is going to introduce soon. Hyderabad region. So coming soon. So recently KTR, the IT Minister of Telangana, he did an announcement, and even you can find the same news from AWS official. So Hyderabad region, no, AWS, I need to mention AWS Hyderabad region. So it is in works. Here you can see Mumbai region is already launched, and now Asia Pacific region in the works and will open in mid of 2022 with three availability zones. See this. So that means in Hyderabad we are going to get three data centers. We are going to get three data centers, and they are going to call it as a Hyderabad region. So I can definitely say the name is going to be AP South 2. AP South 2. Why? Because we already have one. This is going to be the 2. And this region name is going to be Hyderabad. Okay. So, but however, it is about to introduce in 2022. That means like 1 year or 1.5 year from now. So you can expect this. So that is one thing. And these availability zones, if you're taking Mumbai, we have three availability zones. If you're taking Hyderabad, we are going to get it as a three availability zones. So that is one thing. And this diagram, what is availability zone? This is availability zone A, this is availability zone B. If you observe, here we have only one data center, here we have multiple data centers. That's why I mentioned it might be a single data center, or it might be a combination of multiple data centers also. And it got connected with high speed LAN connectivity and designed to fault tolerance. If one goes down also, you are not going to get affected. Each AZ is designed as an independent failure zone. Okay. And whatever the resource you are going to give, or you are launching a server. So that can span across multiple availability zone. Or you're uploading a file into a service. The data also spread across multiple availability zones. Okay. So that is what AWS global infrastructure. Total, we have 24 regions, 77 availability zones, and 6 new regions is going to introduce soon, and 12 more availability zones are coming soon. Okay, so here is some count, which one we are going to get and all. So of course, this image is not updated, but these values are up to date. Okay, now you might get a doubt. So we are going to run our resources here in these availability zones. So we have picked one availability zone, that is Mumbai region availability zone and all. But my customers across the globe, how I can deliver it? So what are the challenges we might expect? That we will discuss now. For this availability zones also we have a code. If you're taking Mumbai, we have three AZs, and that AZ codes are AP South 1A, AP South 1B, and AP South 1C. So these are the three. Right. So when coming to, let's take it in a diagrammatical manner. Those are, so when coming to this, so let me draw this as a region. So within this region, we have three availability zones. This is availability zone 1, availability zone 2, availability zone 3. So let me write down this here. South 1. This is South 1A, 1B, and 1C. And these are interconnected with high-end backbone connectivities with multiple lines. So this is one line got connected. If anything happen, so this line may goes down. So that's why another backbone connectivity with multiple lines. Okay. So now, whenever we want to create any of the server, or whenever you want to launch any of the database and all, So we are going to choose first of all in what region we want to launch. So then in what availability zone you want to launch. So that selecting these availability zone is our choice. First thing. Second thing, the performance no varies, and latency also it won't vary as all three are very near geographically, with just 500 miles away each other. So why 500 miles? So natural disasters should not affect that. So floods or earthquake that won't last more than 500 kilometers, right? So just because of that. So now we have launched a server within this Mumbai region in one of the availability zone. Okay, this is our application server. We place some data here. So now the nearby customer, for example, we have a customer here in Hyderabad. So those guys, whenever they are trying to access the server, so they are pretty happy. The server is responding pretty quickly. And we have some customers like, different geographical location. We have some customers across like, some customers is in USA and some customers are in UK and all. So when these guys are trying to access this server, so my question is, will they get the service as quick as this user?
I would say no.
No. So why? Any quick answer, please?
My just a random guess. It is because of the geographical location, because it's
Yes.
way far.
Yes. So the geographical distance is increasing. So technically, when distance is increasing, latency also increase. When distance is increasing, latency also increases. So what exactly latency means? So latency, I'll give a very simple example. So I'm navigating here, I'm giving google.com. How quickly the website is opened. I'm going here, I'm giving yahoo.com. How quickly this website is opened. So which one is quickly opened? Obviously Google. So how we are saying, if you want me to prove, so basically Google is giving low latency. That's why the server response is quick and that application is delivered pretty quickly. But when coming to Yahoo, the server took some time to deliver the traffic and it still some content is loading. See here, whenever we scrolling down, some content is still loading. So the latency is placed here. And let's take a command prompt, ping google.com. See, a pocket is going to generate from my laptop and it is going to deliver. And see here, 19 milliseconds is the average latency. So from my laptop, it is going to generate a pocket and one pocket also missed in between. So in similarly, if I'm pinging yahoo.com, so how quickly that response is giving. So the average response we are getting is a 19 milliseconds. But here as well as average response from the Yahoo server, we are getting 281 milliseconds. Just because of that, the website is going to load. So in similarly, we have hosted like, an avinash.com here. For this Hyderabad user, whenever he is trying to access pretty quickly, just like, this Google, so we are getting quick responses. But for this Australia user or for this UK user, it is taking some time to deliver the content. Why? Because the geographical distance got increased. Now I want to see how the traffic is flowing to Google. So we have a tool, TRACERT, google.com. So this is going to this is going to perform trace route. It is going to open a route. Okay, from first, when I'm trying to open google.com, from where the pocket is going, from where to where the pocket is going, it is going to get everything. For example, first it is going to my router 192.168.0.1. That is my router IP address. Then it is going to somewhere between switch. Then it is going to act corporation. That is what my internet service provider. So then it goes to a couple of devices and it is going to reset Google server. But the same, if I try with this Yahoo, TRACERT, yahoo.com. So it is Till here, it's also go in same manner. First, it goes to my router only. Even when I'm trying to open Yahoo also, it goes to Yahoo only. It goes to my router. So then it is going to some intermediate devices. That is a switch between. It is going to the same device. So then after how it is going, how the traffic flow is happening and how much time it is taking. So it will give complete, it is going to Hyderabad VSNL network. So then it goes to Mumbai, it goes to Marseille, it goes to Paris, then it is going to somewhere else in a server which is hosted in US. So that's the reason. So and similarly, when geographical distance has increased, latency also increases. Right. So that's a reason. So while we are launching any resource, this is the first thing we are going to consider. What is the latency we are going to get? Now, how to reduce this latency? So we have customers across the globe. So how to reduce the latency? For that, we have another resource called POP locations. POP stands for point of presence. And we have a service called CDN. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. Content Delivery Network. That service name is CloudFront. That service name is CloudFront. So by using this CloudFront, we can deliver our data without any latency to the users which spread across the globe. So I'll explain you the mechanism hands-on we will perform in our coming sessions. Now, this is going to be called as a origin. Where actually our data is there, we call it as a origin. Now, whenever this guy is trying to access, what happened? The data request will go to nearby edge location. This is a edge location. So he's trying to access an avinash.com, which is hosted in Mumbai region, but this guy is in US. Whenever he's trying to access, so now the request will go to actual origin. While giving reply, it keeps a copy here, and the request is going to be delivered. Now, from nearby location, from US itself, another guy is trying to access the server. So the request will go to nearby edge location. As the data is available here, it is going to deliver from here itself. So whenever we are deploying across the globe in all the edge locations, our data is going to keep a copy. So whenever they are trying to access our application from nearby edge location itself, they are going to get all the responses. This is how exactly Amazon Prime movies works. So basically Prime, all movies are hosted in Northern Virginia. It won't hosted in our nearby regions and all. So, but one movie got released, and from a particular geographical location, many customers are watching. So when any first customer accessed, the movie is going to cache in that location. So from that geographical location, whoever is accessing that movie will delivered from the nearby edge location itself. So here we are in Hyderabad and we are trying to watch a movie. So the request will go to nearby edge location that is in Hyderabad only. So from Hyderabad location itself, we are going to get quick response. So the request won't go to actual origin, Northern Virginia, and it won't give response. So in similarly, whatever the application we have, so that application will request all the data from nearby edge location only. And you might get a doubt, what happen if data got deleted or if we upload new data or if we modify data. So those changes we can synchronize here. You can configure to synchronize the changes immediately, or else we can go with the legacy mechanism. So in legacy mechanism, no, the its data is going to update for every 24 hours. This value we call it as a TTL value. TTL stands for time to leave. So for every 24 hours, it will look okay. Any data is modified here or any data is modified here. So then it is going to replicate. If you want to change this value, yes, you can keep it 0 seconds. The transmission is going to happen immediately. or we can set maximum of 365 days. That means once movie got copied here, that movie will be here for coming 365 days. See, if it is a newspaper and all, yeah, the changes might happen and all, or your any application and all changes might happen. But for a movie, any changes will happen? No. So in that scenario, you really no need to delete the data for every 24 hours. So take 365 days and apply that. So for every 365 days, the file will, remove from cache. Again, whenever we got the first request, again it is going to copy. So don't worry about this. We have a session in detail about this. So that we will discuss in our coming sessions. Whenever we discuss CloudFront, we are going to perform it hands-on.
So the
Okay.
first request, sir, the first request which we, let's say the first request is going to the edge location. So that is going to be non-performant, right? Because that's where the copying happens, right?
No,
Correct.
basically I'll tell you. So here, whenever we are creating a CloudFront distribution, we need to choose, okay, where all are you want to copy? Where all are you want to copy? There we can select, okay, I want to store in all the edge locations or only Asia, Europe locations and all that we need to select. When you select, while creating this, it will take some time and it automatically copy all the data to all the edge locations. When the first user scenario comes, for example, you have set up your TTL value as a 24 hours. So what happened after 24 hours, this data is going to expire. At that time, when a new customer comes, whenever he's trying to access, this edge location will go and look for the updated data and it is going to copy. So these locations always will be in sync. So after 24 hours, automatically, if your CloudFront distribution is there, it really don't wait till this guy come and access. It automatically copy the data here. If data is not available, yes. Whoever the guy is accessing, yes, this guy is going to get performance penalty.
Let's say somebody is accessing from China or Russia or some place, so that they will, right? Because they're not in the edge, they're not defined in the edge location.
Yes.
Okay.
Only first customer is going to face that latency, but from second customers onwards, they are going to get benefit. So I have a diagram for this AWS dot infrastructure is a page. Oh, sorry, it's infrastructure dot AWS. Where is that diagram? You should have a diagram. Oh, seems Amazon revoke the diagram. So we used to have one live interactive diagram, right? So seems that got revoked. That is a very simple diagram that I have already shown. Right, so seems that website got revoked. So when coming to this POP, point of presence locations, we have 220 plus across the globe. And Amazon have another concept called local zones and also from what particular location the load is very high, the application is delivered. So such type of things now Amazon have local zones, but the concept is very simple. So these are the primary resources in AWS global infrastructure. We have regions, we have availability zones, and we have edge locations or point of presence locations. So I have a couple of questions related to this. Let me quickly show you those questions. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, so post your questions in our chat box.
Uh, I'm not able to post questions in the chat to you, I think. It says Naresh IT Technology. I don't see your name there, but I had a quick question about SQS. Like you did mention that initially it was a SQS service. So can you talk a little bit about SQS?
We have a dedicated session on that. It's a queuing service, message queuing service.
Okay.
Still the service is available. So we have it's a
Yes.
message queuing service. Whatever the mess, for example, you have a server one and server two.
Mhm.
So server one always want to check the status of server two, and whenever the status got fail, like the server failure happens, so it want to spin up another server. So in that scenario, it continuously send a message and it need to get a response from that server, right? So such type of messaging or such type of polling is going to happen by using a service called SQS.
Okay. And this SNS also, right? That will be covered later.
That is simple notification service. So you want to get a notification when one service is down. So you want to get a notifications to your mobile, or you want to get notifications to your email. So you can create a SNS topic and you can add subscribers there. So then that service is a simple notification service. Yes, that is also part of our course.
Okay. Next.
So I have a quick question here. So what is the major difference between a geographical, as I mean, it is referred as a physical location, and what is availability zone?
Okay, so first thing, Amazon just made for example, so if you ask me a question, where you are from, I'll tell you, okay, I'm from Telangana. So so Telangana is a geolocation, right?
Okay.
But am I really belong to Telangana? Within Telangana, I have a resource. Where is my home? Okay, my home is in Kukatpalli. So the Kukatpalli is nothing but an availability zone where my home actually is there, and the Telangana part is a region. So, and similarly, across the globe, for easy identity purposes, Amazon just segregated. Okay, you are this part, you are this part, and they have given a name.
Okay.
So that name is region. The actual resources, where is the data center, where we are going to launch the server and all. So within that Telangana, like I mentioned that Kukatpalli, right? So that particular part is a availability zone. That's a data center where actual our resource is going to run.
Got it.
But
Another question, you referred AWS pay-as-you-go service. So you say when we don't use that, do we still have to pay for that service? Like,
no,
is it something like a subscription or how does that go?
no, there is no subscription kind of thing here. So basically, I'm going to talk more about that in our tomorrow session.
Sure.
So there is no particular subscription kind of thing. So in Azure, we have subscription kind of thing, and in GCP also, but here no subscription. So what exactly resource you require, you can pick that resource, you can use it, and if it won't comes under free tier eligibility, then only we need to pay. If it comes under free tier eligibility, for first 12 months, you don't need to pay anything.
Got it. Thank you.
So here I have a question. So meanwhile, you can answer. So yeah, here I got some questions. Will 45 hours will be sufficient to complete this training? Yes, that is too sufficient, and I did that 88 times. This is my 89th batch. So will this course content sufficient to go to solution architect? Yes, definitely 100% that is sufficient to take your.
Avinash, I have a small question. Avinash, I'm from an ETL background, so trying to understand these availability zones in ETL perspective. Consider I have a big data problem with 10 or 20 GB of data. So if I want to run a program on 20 GB of data or process that 20 of GB of data, can you explain how it works? Will the data be copied to the POP location first or to the availability zone and then process, or how it is?
Okay, so the first your data will be in AZ, availability zone. So when coming to the data prospective, we have a service called S3. So there, based on the storage class, the data is going to spread across multiple availability zones or multiple regions also. So first thing, your origin is S3 and whatever the tool you are going to use. So within that S3, okay, Within that S3, where exactly you want to keep your data, that you need to choose. So tell me, okay, so in what region you are working, and from where you are going to execute the queries?
It's not a query. Let's consider like a Hyderabad, Mumbai location. So for
Yeah,
example,
exactly. I mean, you are sitting at Hyderabad, and your data, if your data, you want to place all your data, then choose a Mumbai region.
okay.
So you are in Singapore, and you want to quickly execute that queries and all, you can go and choose, you can place your all your data in Singapore region and all. So if such type of data, you're worrying about data high availabilities and also what you can do. So we do have some options. See here, based on the storage classes. So where exactly your data? So our data is going to spread across 3 availability zones for high availability and redundant purpose. So if one copy delates, if one availability zone goes down also, you're not going to get affected anything. So, but here if you're taking one zone, so this is non-critical data. Whenever you have in that scenario only, you need to choose. So what type of data we are taking, what type of storage class we are taking, this plays key role in your question, first thing. And if you want to have a backup copy and all, yes, we can configure replication kind of things. So here, okay, you have you want to replicate your data to different locations and all, you can replicate. And if you are using for an AWS tool to query all your data and all, we have access analyzer and we have batch jobs and all, or we have AWS glue and all, we can run all the queries here. So we can use all AWS tools itself.
But how can we handle the latency of moving the data from Hyderabad to Mumbai? So will that don't affect the time performance kind of thing?
So that's what I mentioned here. So for this, do we really need to depend on edge location?
No.
Not
No.
necessary.
Even if you depend on edge location, you will get a latency. So to test that, we have some tools. For example, so S3 global accelerator tool. So we have global accelerator tool. It tells you, okay, if your data is in this particular location, so how much latency it is going to take and all. So we have a tool. I need to create some resources and all. 1 second. So first of all, we can run the tool. If it is giving any latency, then you can go and pick that service. If it is not giving any latency, then you don't need to. So here, transfer acceleration. Tool. Yeah, here is a speed comparison tool. Ah, come on. Yeah, I got the tool. So here, if you are directly accessing data, how much speed and all you are going to get. If you are depending on edge location, how much speed you are going to get. Run this comparison. If you are getting much positive results and all, then go and enable that feature. Here we have a feature. Then go and enable this on that particular bucket. So where exactly your customer is there, that doesn't matter there.
Which I have to pay?
Did I answer to your question?
Yeah, Avinash, but is that an additional service which I have to pay?
Of course, feature. It's a feature of that service. It's a feature of that service.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I got some more questions here. Are we going to take project for practice purpose? Yes, we are going to have multiple real-time scenarios and all. And this course is completely 95% hands-on. Do we get the material to complete the certification? Yes, you are going to. For practice purpose, do you provide AWS cloud virtual machines? I really don't configure anything. I don't provide any resource. You need to create your own AWS account. And within that AWS account, you need to provision all your resources. And 90% of the times we will be within free tier limitation only. So AWS is giving free tier limitation. You no need to spin up any, huge configuration servers and all. All right. So I'm a beginner and getting trained as a Java full stack developer. Is this right course for me? I hear a lot of high level questions. So, okay. Uh, all right. So let me take you through some general questions, guys. So, one second. All right. So these all questions I face for every single batch, and I almost completed 90 batches only with Naresh IT itself. Right. So those all regular questions I'll explain here. So first thing, do we need any programming experience to learn Amazon Web Services? It's not required. If you're a novice also, if you don't have any experience, or if you're a fresher also, I can make you to understand the subject. That's my responsibility. And do we need to learn Linux? Yes, basic Linux is obviously important. And I'm going to teach you Linux as part of this course. Along with that, I'm going to give a complete course on Linux, Git, and Jenkins. And here is the coupons. I'm going to paste these URLs in our chat box. And one thing, these coupons are going to work only for coming 3 days. Please copy and paste these coupons in your local machine. Please copy and paste these coupons in your local machine. So you can register. Once you registered, you can access these courses for lifetime, but the coupon works only for coming 3 days. Right. So that gives a complete Linux course. Along with that, I'm going to give a Git, what exactly Git and what exactly Jenkins. Basically, these are some DevOps tools. I'm going to teach you AWS DevOps tools like a code commit, code build, code deploy, and Cloud9. Right, these services I'm going to teach you here. But generally, we have some DevOps tools. So to gain knowledge on the DevOps tools, these two courses will be sufficient. Right. So I'm in a support job like a system admin, system engineer, DBA, network admin, storage admin, and all. So will this course suits me? And I can say definitely yes. And this course is going to take you to the next stage, next level of your career. And what are the jobs I can apply once we're done with this course? You can apply for AWS engineer, sysaps administrator, DB engineer, network engineer, solution architect, or cloud engineer. The same job with the multiple, job descriptions and all. So these are all the jobs you can apply. So I'm an existing developer. Let me complete. I'll take all our questions. Let me complete.
Hello,
first.
sir. Actually,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, sir.
Let me complete then. So if you have any question, I'm an existing developer. Like my programming language is .NET, Java, Python, or any of the programming language. So how this course is going to help me? So if you are a Java guy, Python guy, .NET guy, whoever you are, first of all, you need to know the AWS service. I'm going to teach you and I'm going to train you on that AWS services. Along with that, as you already into development part, I'm going to take sessions on CDK part, Cloud Development Kit. So how to create an AWS project by using TypeScript or by using Python, and how to create your own IDE, and how to integrate that IDE with AWS environment, how to initialize a project, how to modify your code, how to synthesize it, how to deploy that code to AWS. That I'm going to teach you here. So regardless of programming language, whenever you're creating a project, at that time itself, you need to mention hyphen language. There, if you give Python, Python program is going to initialize. If you are giving TypeScript is going to initialize. So AWS is not just limited to any of the programming language. Whatever the ones I mentioned here, you can take any of the one. So I hope I answered to that question. And which certification we are going to cover in this course? We are going to cover Cloud Practitioner, Solution Architect Associate, SysApps Administrator, and AWS Developer. Associate tier and Foundation tier. Total 4 certification we are going to cover here. And by end of this course, I'm going to share 500 to 600 questions that will definitely sufficient to crack your certification exam. And I'm going to provide assistance for that, right? And do we have any real-time project or real-time scenarios? Yes, this course is 95% hands-on, first thing. And we are going to cover multiple real-time scenarios. We are going to have multiple projects. Okay. And some services, why I'm mentioning is 95% and all. So some services, for example, server migration service from your local environment to AWS, if you want to migrate a server, you want to perform like a database migration service, you want to perform a hybrid environment like a communication between local environment and AWS, such type of services I cannot demonstrate here. The reason is it involved with like additional softwares, additional environment, and all. I need to have VMware vCenter or vSphere, or like I need to have Hyper-V environment that Naresh IT won't provide, and my local resource also won't sufficient for such type of services. When I have the resource, I made a videos and I have uploaded that here. So you can go to YouTube, you can just give AWS Avinash Reddy, you can find this channel. So there I have uploaded such type of videos. For example, server migration service, how to migrate a server. So that video is available here. I'll share you this video. You can go through this. For example, I'm performing this thing on VMware environment. So if you ask me to demonstrate, no, bit difficult, right? And how to migrate a server from GCP to AWS, Google Cloud Computing. So I can teach you AWS part and how to perform from AWS side and all. So now it's your turn to launch a server from GCP and migrating. I'm going to give you complete confidence to perform the task, what exactly we are going to do and all. So now that is your responsibility. So I'm going to share you such type of hybrid environment videos, migration videos, database migration and all. So this is a channel. So this one. And with this course content, how many years of experience we can add to profile? So every day I'm going to maintain such type of document. Whatever the thing I'm going to talk, I'm going to document and I'm going to share it. And every single day I'm going to share tasks. If you are able to clear the tasks successfully, then you can add minimum, this is minimum 3.5 years to 4 years experience to your profile. So you can showcase, okay, from last 3 years onwards, I'm working on Amazon Web Services. If you are able to complete all the tasks without any difficulty, right? And whatever the course I'm mentioning here, this session is recorded, and these recorded videos will be available for coming 12 months. And whatever the email ID you have given while registering, to that email ID, Naresh team is going to share this video today, end of the day. Okay, so now I'm open to all your questions. If you have any questions, you can unmute and you can ask your questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Actually, I'm total having 4 years of experience into the Java support.
Okay.
Yeah. But now recently I switched to the one startup as a Java developer.
Mhm.
Okay. But they actually fired me because I don't have that much coding knowledge. But I'm just into the Java support. So
Okay.
they literally fired me. Again, I joined another organization. They also fired me because of because of the experience I'm showing and no coding knowledge.
Okay.
So I come to know that I don't have that much interest in coding, or I don't want as a Java developer job now. So can I move into the sister AWS admin roles?
Yes,
Where
definitely. See here. So for all these courses, you don't require any apart from this particular job role. Apart from that particular job role, you really no need to have any programming experience with AWS.
But sir, well, this should not happen. Like suppose I also joined the AWS admin role. Again I will face some problems in the job performance and all.
Even
This should not.
I see, I can't write a program in Java,
Hmm.
and I have 7 years experience. Even in my team, they really don't know how to write a program in Java. So if I know how to write a program in Java, I might be a Java developer, not an AWS solution architect or like a consultant.
Hmm.
Right.
So I won't face any issue in future maybe.
I've never faced till now, so I'm expecting you also won't face that.
Okay. And are there separate opening for system admin? Sorry, AWS admins or AWS
Yes.
developer admin?
Yes.
Okay.
Those two are different job roles, right? So yes, we have openings for both.
Mhm.
So certification fees, how much is a question from Ajinkya? So that uh, so $150 is for associate tier, $100 fees for cloud practitioner, Ajinkya. I noticed all options are very inside to find something. It's very painful. Everything is painful in life, Amrit. Nothing is easy. If it is coming easy, it goes very easily. So take that pain, and it's very hard to finish all the 3 courses within 2 days. I'm not asking you to finish all the 3 courses. I'm asking you to register. It's not even going to 5 minutes to register to that courses. Once you register, right, you can go through those courses at any time. Right. So
As a follow-up question to Akash, sir, just want to check. I'm currently from the recruiting department, and I would like to switch my career from IT, non-IT to the IT. So I just want some suggestions from you. Like, do I have to do any back-end work or some homework kind of thing where I need to learn some technologies or some
okay.
software?
So my suggestion, as you're completely from non-IT background, so I can tell you, please go through the Linux course I shared.
Mm-hmm.
So that is too sufficient.
That is
And
enough.
go through this AWS course. And as I mentioned, even if you're a novice also, if you're a fresher also, my
Mhm.
responsibility is I can make you to understand the subject.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for today's session, guys. So please spare some time and register to that courses. And if coupon expires, you need to wait till this month 28th. So then only I can generate another coupon. So you can use same meeting link to join session tomorrow, right? Same meeting links works for us. So, all right. So that's it for today's session. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, guys.